for an American movie classic? Will it be Attack of the Ambush? Or how about Revenge of the Regget? Either way, one of these teams knows the Force will be with them today. It's a Star Wars special as the Major Arena Soccer League presents the Florida Tropics as they host the St. Louis Ambush. Next. And thank you for choosing to spend a bit of your time here at the RP Funding Center with us as the Major Arena Soccer League gets ready to kick off. It's Saturday with the Florida Tropics hosting the St. Louis Ambush, and you got it, it is Star Wars night here in Lakeland. I'm Brian Ackley along with JP Reyes, and JP, thank you for joining us on our broadcast here this afternoon. The Tropics come in at 9-1, and I think it's fair to say over the first 10 games, so far, so good for the Tropics.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the way the season's going, it's looking good, and I think it's only going to move forward from here.
Let's take a look at the Eastern Conference standings. As we mentioned, the Tropics on top with a 9-1 record, and they are 2 games clear of their nearest pursuers. That would be the Milwaukee Wave and Utica City. Checking in at 7-3, the Harrisburg Heat, a tough loss, a 1-goal loss last night at home against San Diego at 7-4, and do not go to sleep ever on the Baltimore Blast. They won the last 3 MASL championships before the Wave won one last year, and Baltimore is 5-5 and even 500, but they have added some talent, and they are going to be a force to be reckoned with over the second half of the season. We are almost at the halfway point. It is a 24-game regular season schedule, so the Tropics will reach the halfway point. Their 12th game will come next Saturday in Dallas. Right now, though, as we take a look back at what happened here the last 2 Sundays, JP, relatively easy wins over the Orlando Seawolves, who we know are struggling, don't necessarily have the kind of talent, certainly, that the Tropics have. It's got to be an awful fun. You've played in 74 of these games in the MASL. Got to be fun for a player to play in a game where you get 16 goals.
Oh, yeah, it's a confidence booster. It helps you kind of get your game, get a little sharper. It helps the teams gel together. It's those Orlando games are really crucial for us. As easy as they seem, they're crucial for sticking to our system and being disciplined.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point because last Sunday's game, the Tropics really played a full 60 minutes. They didn't necessarily do that the previous Sunday when they hosted Orlando. It wasn't a bad effort, 10-3 final. That's certainly a good result, but it wasn't the full 60-minute effort that Clay Roberts was looking for, and that can be hard when you know you're better than the opponents. And to go out and have Clay Roberts challenge the team to do that and respond was very impressive. Joey Tavernisi had the hat trick. Victor Pereira's had the hat trick. Everyone contributing, and that's exactly what the Tropics were hoping for this year.
Yeah.
Even Fernando Machado getting his first point on that assist on the Joey Tavernisi goal. And when you bring all those players together, JP, all those stars together, there are egos involved, and it seems like they've got that all figured out in the locker room. There are 8 guys that have double-digit points on this team so far, and that's exactly what the blueprint called for, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Clay has done a really good job with strong personalities, and managing that, it's typically tough, right? But the fact that we have so much depth, so many players that can all score and all defend, he's managing it very well.
Yeah, it's been impressive to watch so far, but in a lot of ways, the people around the league might tell you that the game or the season will really begin here against St. Louis because, in fairness, 5 of the 10 games have been against Orlando, and so you expect to win all those, and the Tropics have. Star Wars night here in Lakeland. We'll be back with the opening kickoff in just a moment as the Florida Tropics meet the St. Louis Ambush. Please stay with us on Great 38.
What's your plan?
More time with the grandkids.
Care Plus can help with a variety of Medicare Advantage plans, many $0 copays, and 20 years of Medicare experience. Care Plus, we've got plans for you.
Your Syntec smart home works with devices like the Amazon Echo Dot.
Alexa,
Turn on all lights.
Many of your home's features can be controlled by giving simple voice commands.
Alexa, set temperature to 72 degrees. Alexa, play my playlist.
For extra convenience, you can also control your home's systems with your smartphone apps.
Major Arena Soccer League action is at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland with the Florida Tropics. For amazing family entertainment and non-stop action that doesn't bust the budget, go to fltropics.com and click tickets. So rise up, Florida, and join the ever-growing Tropics soccer movement. Go to fltropics.com and click tickets.
Here's something we've learned in the last 115 years. Energy connects us. In the conversations, the smiles, the interactions we experience every day. Lakeland Electric is proud to power local businesses, ensuring reliable energy for our friends, our families, our future. Lakeland Electric, powered for life.
What's your plan?
More time with the grandkids.
Care Plus can help with a variety of Medicare Advantage plans, many $0 copays, and 20 years of Medicare experience. Care Plus, we've got plans for you.
Bartow Elementary with a fine rendition of our national anthem. And maybe they're a good luck charm because ironically they were the group that sang here last year on Star Wars night when the Tropics pulled out a win. So we'll see if good fortune holds. JP, the St. Louis team comes in 6-6. They're not a bad side. They in fact beat Milwaukee in Milwaukee as the Tropics did in overtime. Both games went into overtime. You beat Milwaukee in Milwaukee, that stamps you right away as a good team. So I don't know if we got 16 goals in us tonight, probably not. This will be a little tougher than what fans may have gotten used to seeing in the last couple of weeks against Orlando.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a gritty game. Well, St. Louis always has very talented players. What Everton has done with that team, the system that he likes to play, I do think that the Tropics are prepared for it. The practices were completely on point to how his style of play will fit in. So it's going to be interesting to see that what we do will come into fruition.
Tropics with some new players in the lineup tonight, and we'll talk about that as we move along. But getting the start in goal is Hugo Silva, who leads is actually second in the MASL in goals against. The leader is Brett Petracek, the backup. Lucas Teixeira and Drew Ruggles will start defensively. Victor Pereira's at midfield. The former St. Louis Ambush MASL reigning Rookie of the Year, Zach Reggett, at one forward spot. And Ricardo Carvalho, who came into this weekend's game second in the MASL in overall scoring with 29 points, will get the other start at forward. Nice luxury to have, JP, to have two goaltenders, both atop the MASL leaderboard. Petracek, number one, Hugo Silva, number 2 in goals against.
Yeah.
That is a luxury a lot of teams can't afford, but really important in this day and age when you start getting back-to-backs, you start getting injuries. So it's Brett Petracek on the bench tonight, and Hugo Silva getting his second straight start. Been a great year so far for Hugo Silva. Got injured after the 3rd game of the season, sat out a few games. That's when Petracek came in, but you've been in front of Hugo Silva for a lot of games as a defender for the Tropics, and I know he makes you guys feel pretty confident back there.
Oh, yeah. What Hugo brings, the presence that he brings back there, he's very vocal, technical with his feet. It's huge, and the fact that we can have Brett come in also and fill this spot and do a great job, I mean, this is what we're looking for. We're looking for that long run, for those back-to-back games where Hugo can rest and Brett can come in and fill the shoes. And right now, the way it looks, you really don't know which one would be number 1 or number 2 because they're both playing so good. Yeah, definitely a 1 and 1A situation, if you will. So it's Hugo Silva and Paulo Nascimento in goal for St. Louis as he drives it deep into the Florida end of the field. Drew Ruggles and Tony Walls collide, and Ruggles is going to be called for the quick foul. Tony Walls leading this St. Louis team in points and goals. He has 14 goals and a total of 19 points coming into the weekend. Your safety is our first priority, and we thank you for your cooperation. Restart opportunity here for St. Louis from a dangerous spot just outside the penalty box area. So St. Louis with a very quick and early opportunity. There's a shot that is going wide. Ruggles got a piece of it. Here's a shot, and that one will be sent up over the glass into the crowd by Silva. So Tropics dodge an early bullet. The first 10 minutes are usually trying to get your feet wet, trying to make sure that you develop that system that you're trying to play. So you'll see a lot of back and forth a little bit until everybody gets off the edge. Clay Roberts challenging his club again to come out and play very well in the first half. They did last week. It's been mostly good starts for the Tropics, but the one loss they have on their record is that home loss to Milwaukee 6-5. They did not play particularly well in the first half, and Clay Roberts felt that was the difference. So he is challenging his club to get fast starts. Here's Guilherme. Guilherme trying to turn, and a good defensive play in the corner by Jonathan Santos, and then Guilherme taken down by Santos. So the Tropics will get a restart from very deep in the St. Louis end of the field. They're going to bring some players on for this opportunity. Lucas Teixeira comes out. Victor Pereira will pull the trigger on the restart. Back to Guilherme. Guilherme tries to take a shot, blocked in there by Douglas DeSantos. Guilherme tried the extra touch that time, something that he tried last week to try and create a little space on some of those restart opportunities. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The Tropics haven't been particularly good on restart chances this year, and we'll talk with JP about that a little bit. Here's a shot by Alves, and that one just rolls wide of the far post. Anthony Arico, one of the new players in the lineup, not new to St. Louis or the Tropics. He is one of the original Fab Five, as we call them. Only 5 players on the Tropics roster now that started with this team 4 years ago. JP Reyes to my left is one of them, not dressed here this afternoon, and Anthony Arico another. He has been out with a leg injury all season, but is dressed here. He came over to the Tropics from the St. Louis Ambush, so kind of an especially meaningful start here for Anthony tonight as Guilherme wins that 50-50 ball and leaves it for Gordy Gerson. The Tropics want to change on the fly. Yeah, I'm excited for Anthony to be back on the lineup. I mean, he's one of the hardest working players I know. He just needed to get a little bit of rest from the injury, and I'm sure he's going to do a lot of good for the game today. And the beauty for the Tropics this year is with their depth. Last year when they had injuries, JP, and you know this as well as anyone, people were trying to rush back into the lineup because there was just no depth. This year, the Tropics, with their depth, have the luxury of giving injured players maybe an extra week or two to be fully 100% to get back into the lineup, and that's another big advantage of having such a deep roster. Oh yeah, that's huge. Nascimento will leave it to Santos and right back to Paulo. This is the second game in 2 nights for St. Louis. They were in Orlando last night and pulled out, and I mean pulled out, a very close 8-7 win
over the determined Seawolves, who put a very strong effort on this St. Louis team. In fact, the Seawolves led going into the fourth quarter of that one 6-5 before the ambush rallied. Nascimento did not start the game. Paulo did not in goal. He came on as a spark to start the fourth quarter, and it worked. And the ambush did just get out of Silver Spurs Arena with that win, their 6th of the season. Play in the Florida end of the field. Monolaris in there. There's a shot, and that's well wide by Mario Marcus. Out of play. So Hugo Silva will get a goal kick here.
Drew's already got 2 fouls. We got to be careful.
Yeah, 4 fouls and a half is a blue card, so he picked up that one, if you call, right in the first 15 seconds. That's always a little dangerous. Lucas Teixeira leaves it off to Drew Ruggles, who came over in the offseason. One of the big free agent acquisitions, played with the Milwaukee Wave last year. Ahead to Matt Clare. Clare trying to get there, gets it down to Reggett deep in the left corner. Reggett off the boards. Tried to hit Carvalho making a run. Carvalho double teamed at his own yellow line, and the whistle and the foul. I think that may have been against Tony Walls, we'll see, but it'll be a restart from about 50 feet out here for the Tropics. Here's Teixeira, and he will send that halfway to Sarasota. Not exactly what Lucas wanted. So it'll be a goal kick coming up here for Nascimento. St. Louis going to be in a battle for that 4th and final playoff spot. There's about 3 or 4, maybe 5 teams in the East that will probably battle right down to the wire. And St. Louis very well could be one of them. Some early pressure here from Guilherme. Kansas City in there, Harrisburg, of course, Baltimore. Still, I think, the team to beat until they're proven not to be the team to beat. Too much championship pedigree on that roster and in that franchise to think otherwise. But St. Louis, as good as they have been, as deep a strong a roster as they have had in several seasons. Here's the back heel to Santos, tried to feed it through the box to San Luis. Carvalho tried to get it ahead to Teixeira. He runs into Lucas Almeida. Both teams will change wholesale here, all new players for both sides, as the Tropics will get a re-kick. No great scoring chances yet. As we said, don't think we'll see 16. That's a lot even for indoor soccer. But for fans new to the game, very different than the outdoor game when it comes to the goal scoring department. You can very often see 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 goals a game for each team. Not unusual. Which is why the goals against average for Hugo Silva and Brett Petracek has been so impressive.
Yeah. So there's new flavor to the lineup today. I noticed that Stefan's playing up top. He usually plays in the back, and we're using him as a target forward. And he's actually pretty talented in multiple different positions, which is exciting to see. He's a big body. He can hold his own, and he has a decent shot.
Yeah, definitely one of the lineup changes we wanted to talk about. I was kidding with him before the game. I said, I hope your conversion from defense to target forward goes as well as it did for Guilherme last year. Of course, Guilherme played defense his first season for the Tropics, was moved to a target forward, and had 15 goals in 10 games before getting injured. So it can certainly happen. Here's a counterattack for St. Louis. Kojakov is run into by Gerson. And this will be a foul against St. Louis. Gerson going to hobble off. He's had kind of an on and off foot injury almost all season, so I hope he didn't exacerbate it there. He had 5 assists last week in that win over Orlando. Here's a long shot. Just misses from Teixeira. Reggett tries to get the rebound, and his uniform pulled there momentarily. Ruggles keeps it alive to Victor Pereras. Over to Antonio Manfoot. Manfoot. Good defensive read there by St. Louis. Reggett takes it away. Reggett's got great work ethic. Manfoot intercepts. Manfoot trying to get it down low to Reggett off the boards, but there is Santos. He came over in a trade from the Milwaukee Wave. a few weeks ago. A very, very good pickup for St. Louis. Here's Manfoot again. Didn't quite have the angle to get it to Reggett there off the boards, but Ruggles will track it down near the midfield line. Teixeira with it. Down to Zach Reggett. Second on the Tropics in goals this year with a dozen. Trails just Ricardo Cavallo with 13 goals for Florida. So we mentioned a very balanced attack for the Tropics. Not quite the same for St. Louis. Here's a long ball for Claire. He's going to take it off the boards, heads it, and it goes out of play. He has scored a couple of header goals this year. Good veteran presence for the Tropics, having a resurgent season. He'll be looking forward to having the San Diego Sockers in town in a couple of weeks. Former San Diego star, and really re-emerging this year after kind of a tough season in 2018-2019 that was marred with a trade to Tacoma and an injury, and eventually ended up here in Florida.
Yeah, he's at home now. He feels good. He's playing well.
Yeah, been an important part of this Tropics 9-1 start, no question about it. Here's Duarte with it. Leaves it off for Jahic. Drives it deep in the corner to Axel Duarte with it. Now over to Mario Marcus as St. Louis wants to play a little possession and get some fresh legs out there. Carvalho with a challenge. Guilherme now going to pressure Paulo. Marcus with it now for St. Louis. Middle of the field to DeSantos. St. Louis on the counter here. San Luis down low, has it taken away briefly by Alves. Good play by Rafa. She sticks with it. Now Guilherme. Guilherme looking for help. Carvalho will pick up the loose ball and try and get it back to Guilherme. Does. Carvalho had been out there for a while and didn't have the legs to make the counter there. But a good job nonetheless to retain possession and allow the Tropics to get other fresh legs out there as well. Here's Arico with it. Ruggles being watched by Deduca, one of the three ambushed players that really lead their offense. Silva drives it deep for Gerson. Collision by a couple of St. Louis players. Here's Pereira with it, rather Teixeira, and he'll pull it back out. Arico with it. Down low to Stefan Mijatovic, who has played defense in his previous 3 starts for the Tropics, but as JP Reyes noted up front as the target forward here this afternoon. Here's Gerson trying to get to the top of the arc, shot just wide. Gerson picks up his own rebound, but a handball is called. I think it brushed off the arm of Arico coming off the boards there. On the replay, you can see Gerson couldn't quite get squared to the goal, but good effort and good to see Gordy right back out there after limping off just a minute ago. And you have that kind of lingering foot injury, you always worry of a reoccurrence, but he looked sharp there. Star Wars night here at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland. Glad to have you with us wherever you may be watching on Great 38, MASL.TV, and special hello to our friends on the Cox Sports Cable Network as well, enjoying MASL soccer. DeSantos will play it back to Nascimento. Now to Almeida. Mijatovic going to step up, try and perhaps put a little pressure on here, as Paulo comes well off his line. Deep into the St. Louis end of the field, Tony Walls, who will play outside this summer with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in the USL Championship League. It's the same league that the Tampa Bay Rowdies play in, and haven't seen a schedule yet, but don't know if Tony will be hooking up with Tampa Bay this year or not. I imagine he might be.
That's going to be a good matchup between Tony Walls and Drew Ruggles. You know, they were former teammates in New York, and seeing them go be physical, it's going to be a good game to watch.
Restart opportunity here for St. Louis from the near boards. The Tropics going to send out a couple of reinforcements. Actually, maybe a drop ball, we'll see. Drew Ruggles looking for an explanation. Asking his good friend Tony Walls about it as well. Guess it's going to be a drop ball, yep. that'll go off Ruggles, so it'll be a kick in for St. Louis here. Kind of a good veteran play by Tony Walls, right?
Yeah, smart play.
Almeida will tee it up here from about 35 feet. Plays it off the boards in front, goes through the box. Walls was there but couldn't get a foot on it. Manfoot battles on the far boards, and the whistle and a foul called against St. Louis. Hugo with it. Sends it down to Manfoot. To Reggett now. Uses it off for Teixeira. Tropics will reset the offense here. Victor Pereira's the captain. Wears number 7, had the hat trick last week against Orlando, as did Joey Tavernese. It was kind of funny because both Pereiras and Tavernese didn't have a point in the previous game against Orlando the week prior, and then they both had hat tricks last Sunday. So sometimes how it goes in the indoor game. A little too aggressive on the challenges, Kozhikov, so he's whistled for the infraction. Silva will come off his line, intercept here on a bad outlet. This is Souza with it. Souza across the yellow line. Good defensive recovery by Carvalho, yeah. Nice to see the forwards coming back and making those kind of defensive plays. But, JP, that's been a mantra right from the start of training camp this year.
Yeah, that's been our philosophy, to everybody up, everybody down.
Shotgun!
There you go.
Picks up the first goal of the game on a pretty pass, JP, and here's the replay.
He sliding it through, slice and dice.
Boy, what a great ball from Guilherme out near the yellow line. Put it right on the foot of Matt Flair, and it is an easy goal for the veteran forward, and the Tropics have an early 1-0 lead here on Star Wars night. Timeout on the floor. Presented by Bond Clinic, this is Florida Tropics Soccer on Great 38. We'll be back with more action from the RP Funding Center in just a moment as we take one more look at that pretty goal by Tropics forward Matt Flair. Stay with us, fans. Back in a moment. Well, there's a young man who would love to have a big game here this afternoon, Zach Reggett. He is looking for his 5th 2-goal game. He's got 2 goals in his last 4 consecutive games. He came over from St. Louis as the reigning Rookie of the Year last year after 22-goal performance. And he was very psyched about the chance to play his former team here this afternoon. If you get a chance to check out the Florida Tropics Facebook page, had a good Tropics Weekly interview with him and talked about how he came into the league and thought he was going to be a defender in this league. When he first signed with St. Louis, here's a chance and a nice defensive play by Teixeira.
Good cut, good read.
That was excellent by Teixeira as St. Louis had a man opportunity. Now here's Mijatovic, gets it ahead to Gerson. Gerson shot, and Nascimento right there, Paulo to knock it away on the short side and finish the story on Zach Reggett. Everton, the St. Louis coach, took one look at him and said, son, you're a target forward. You're not a defender in this league, and the rest is history. Here's Sousa coming into the Florida end of the field, 1-on-2. And again, nice defensive work, that time by Anthony Arrico. Hugo Silva's had it pretty easy here so far. And that has been largely due to the good defensive effort so far here by the Tropics. Here's Gerson. Gerson looking for an angle, puts it off the boards, tried to get it in front. Pereira's came in, and then Monolaris sends that one halfway to Claremont.
Great play. Gordy called, told him to clear out of the wall, just take a hit against the wall and let Zach be there. It's good play, good read.
Yeah, something you can talk about, JP, because we've talked about it on other broadcasts this year. The team's play off the boards, using the boards this year, has been so much better than it has been the first 3 years, and that's got to have something to do with the fact you're practicing indoors now almost every day.
Yep, we're practicing in Orlando at XL Soccer World, and it's been really helpful in developing patterns and part of the system with walls.
And it has been noticeable, no question about it. Here's Victor Pereiras. Matt Clare just went ahead of Victor in the goal-scoring department. Shot, and Nascimento makes the save. For Clare, that is his 11th of the season. Tropics now with 4 players in double digits in goals. Carvalho, Pereiras, Clare, and of course the aforementioned Zach Reggett. Manfoot.
3v2.
Gets it ahead to Zach Reggett, who collides with Paulo. And Paulo is going to be called for the interference or obstruction, as they call it in soccer. As Reggett tried to play it off the boards to himself with Paulo out of the net. Here's the replay.
Professional foul.
Is that what you guys call it? A professional foul? Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, Paulo will not have to serve the infraction himself, but the Tropics will get a man advantage here. They'll send out Guilherme, Carvalho, Victor Pereira, Drew Ruggles, and looks like Matt Clare, the goal scorer. So 2 minutes in the box. It'll be served by Mario Marcus.
We have 5 left footers on the field.
Is that a good thing?
That's a
or an
good
unusual thing?
We have a couple who could bomb with both left and right, so we should be promising with our power play team.
Pereiras will run it on top here. Leaves it off to Carvalho. Carvalho, Pereiras going to play a little footsie with each other here. Now down low to Clare. Tries to head it in front to Ruggles. Good idea by Matt Clare, but Ruggles had moved towards the goal line a couple of steps too far. Carvalho gets it down to Guilherme. Oh, he got it through the legs of the St. Louis defender Santos, but Ruggles was again just a couple of steps too far away from that one. Long ball down to DeSantos. DeSantos being watched by Pereiras. DeSantos still fighting through, still with it. Shot, and that one is wide, but good individual effort by Douglas DeSantos. St. Louis still with it. Now Carvalho going to try and take it away from the St. Louis player. There's a hold, and St. Louis will finally give up possession.
Quick play, since we are a man up, take advantage of our numbers.
Silva over to Guilherme. He's one of the bombers for sure. Guilherme shot! Good save by Paulo. And he'll corral the rebound as DeSantos got in there to help him. Long ball down to Hugo. Still 37 seconds left in the man advantage. Pereiras. Over to Carvalho. Carvalho, long shot, and that one goes high and out of play. So a couple of looks here for the Tropics on the man advantage, but
You can see Matt calling to get the ball to go deep first, bring the guys a little further back, and then bring it back forward so they can open up those shots.
As you said, a lot of big bombers out there for Florida. Pereiras has another big left foot. Whistle and a foul on Duduka. So the Tropics will get one more possession here with the man advantage and just 15 seconds to go in the power play. So one more push into the St. Louis end here quickly. Pereiras to Carvalho, down to Claire. Claire looking back post to Ruggles, but never got it through. And that'll do it for the man advantage as Santos is able to draw the foul. Marcos is back out onto the floor, serving the penalty for Nascimento. Be a St. Louis race start here in their own end. Matt Clare going to make sure it's not going to go back to Paolo. Long ball to the midfield area. Ruggles heads it the other way to Clare. Clare kind of got tripped up in his own feet, and Mijatovic dove in and almost had a chance on Nascimento. Pressure now and a chance for Kozhikov. Coming back for St. Louis. Here's a chance in front. Shot! Silva with a huge save on JT Thomas. His best of the game. St. Louis wanted a handball there, didn't happen. Tropics need some fresh legs out there as Carvalho is called for the foul. That'll allow Florida at least to make the line change that they wanted. San Luis out there for the St. Louis ambush. No Andre Brathwaite on this trip for St. Louis. He, of course, played with the Tropics last year. He was the player traded in the Zach Reggett deal in the offseason. Here's Santos. St. Louis looking for an equalizer here late. Souza down low to San Luis. Rafa Alves on him, and Rafa going to be, nope, going to go against San Luis. Nope, going to go against Rafa. Thought so. And that will be a restart here for St. Louis. Still time to get a play together. A lot of time, over 20 seconds. St. Louis going to be the trigger man here, it looks like, or maybe Souza. Nope, going to be San Luis. There's a shot right on goal, and Silva punches that one away. Ball down the left side to Gerson. Gerson at the yellow line. Trying to move in. He's interfered with, pushed down. And Santos going to be called for the foul. So the Tropics with time here and chance perhaps for a late one. With just over 10 seconds now to go. Restart inside the yellow line. Yeah, that was a nice ball to Gerson, wasn't it?
Yeah, great ball. Is there something Zach can't do is the question.
Here's Alves. Let's see where he wants to place it. Carvalho will get it over to Reggett. Reggett gets it down low to Claire to Carvalho. Time running out here. Tropics can't get a shot away. Finally try and do Pereiras. But good defense by St. Louis as the Tropics really did not get an honest chance there in the final 10 seconds. But Matt Clare does find the back of the net on a pretty assist from Guilherme. And the Florida Tropics have a 1-0 lead presented by Bond Clinic. This is Florida Tropics Soccer on Great 38. Back in a moment. Well, we did talk, JP, a little bit about how defense has been the mantra for the Tropics so far here this season, despite all the offensive fireworks we've seen. And for the ambush, they found out just how good that Florida defense is. That's their first scoreless quarter in the last 10 they played. That's pretty impressive.
That's awesome. The way that we have our system running, the way the players are committed to tracking back and staying with players has been really effective, and it's showing now. It's showing in this game. A lot of people are saying this is the game that will be the test for us, and so far so good with a 1-0, 0 goals conceded.
Yep, we'll see if that good defensive effort can continue. The Tropics have set several defensive records this season, including fewest goals allowed in games. They've done it twice this year with just 2 goals. Actually, twice. They did it against Orlando, and then they did it in what I think maybe was the best game the Tropics have ever played. Certainly the best game they've ever played here in a 7-2 win over Baltimore right during the Christmas holiday season.
Oh, yeah, everything was clicking at that game.
Yeah, it's kind of fun when it all works the way it's supposed to for 60 minutes, and it sure did that night. But that is not by mistake. When Clay Roberts and the front office set out to remake this Florida roster in the offseason, yeah, they wanted offensive talent, no question, but they also wanted guys that were committed to coming back and playing defense, getting behind the ball. In fact, I was kidding Zach Reggett this week. I said my favorite play in that game against Orlando last week was Zach blocking a shot with like 5 seconds to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a 13-goal lead, and Zach Reggett, the reigning MASL Rookie of the Year, is back playing defense and blocks a shot at the top of the box with 5 seconds to go.
It's a mindset we're trying to define into the Tropics culture, and that's what we're looking, that's what we're seeing now. It's coming into fruition.
Well, I told him I wanted to make sure it wasn't unnoticed, at least by me, because it was fun to see that kind of effort. Pereira gets it ahead to Guilherme. Guilherme, oh, good defensive play in there by Jahic as he denied Pereira the scoring opportunity. Now Jahic going to lead the counter himself. Gets it over to Grant. Anthony Grant, a very good player. Good defensive play by Monolaris. Monolaris and Grant collide, and Grant going to be called for the push. And not happy about it, and almost drew a yellow card.
That's a definite foul.
That was close to a yellow. Official was reaching for his pocket there, but Grant walked away just at the right moment.
Great ball forward. Stefan 1-on-1 isolated.
Hasn't really had a chance as a target forward yet to get away the big shot. He'll stay out there, though. Claire with it. Gets it over to Carvalho. Carvalho looking for space to operate as a second forward. Gets it back to Alvis. Claire will pick it up. He's got Mijatovic trying to shake free.
We're building to 4.
Yep.
Notice that we have the guys around, leaving Stefan by himself, trying to create that isolate the play off of him and give him space. Doing a really good job at that.
Claire called for the foul as Souza went down. Really nice crowd here tonight at the RP Funding Center for Star Wars Night. Always one of the more popular nights on the calendar. Paulo going to direct some traffic and then drive it into the Florida end of the field. Carvalho intercepted that pass, and then Teixeira tried to play it off the boards, and Almeida stepped in front, but they're going to say Teixeira knocked it out of play. Good matchup tonight in Baltimore as the San Diego Sockers and Baltimore Blast will renew rivalries. I think it's the first time in 4 or 5 years that they've played each other. 2 of the most iconic franchises in the history of indoor soccer. Will kick off just about the time this one will be wrapping up. Santos with it, and he will play it back to Paulo. Long ball into the Florida end of the field. Chance off the boards in front, and Kozakov couldn't quite get there and then is whistled for the infraction. Hugo Silva comes into the contest tonight with a goals against average of .389. Second in the league behind his teammate Brett Petracek. Comes in at 361. Reggett with it. Being watched by Santos. He's arguably St. Louis's best defender. Reggett will take it deep in the corner, off the boards in front. Teixeira tried to make a run, still loose in there. Paulo lost it for a split second. Ruggles will keep it alive to Reggett. Reggett being watched by Felipe Silva. Here's a chance, shot just wide by Reggett. Teixeira teeing up the rebound, and he couldn't get that one through. Couple of chances for the Tropics there, and then Gerson couldn't keep it in play. He thought he banged it off St. Louis, but the referees will think otherwise. Here's the replay.
Great shot. Follow-up.
Couple of whacks at it there for the Tropics, but here's another chance in front, and just a little late to the party is Pereiras on the back heel by Gerson. Good idea. Tropics stepping up the pressure here in the second quarter. They figure St. Louis should have the heavy legs as they played in Orlando last night. This is the Tropics' only game this weekend. Here's Pereiras. Tried to get the left-footed shot through, and we have a whistle and a blue card coming up. Not sure if, I guess it may be against Duarte. We'll see, or let's look at the replay. Yeah.
Oh, looks like they're calling for a handball.
Yeah, Duarte, a handball out of the box there. No question about it. Didn't think it was contact on Pereiras. Didn't see what happened initially, but Duarte sliding to make the block and clearly hit his arm. Duarte wants an explanation, but Kyle Trimble's like, hey, that was an easy one to make.
Another great opportunity with the power play team.
And a restart opportunity here from a dangerous spot. Been a problem, as we mentioned, JP, for the Tropics. What do you think the problem has been so far?
It's hard to say. I mean, we've been inconsistent on who's out there for the free kick, so it's more about getting to be in this pitch maybe. I mean, we train in a smaller field. Having the opportunity to be in a larger field would probably help us out with this.
De Santos with the easy block on that restart, and we've seen a lot of those. Such an important part of the game. And it may be just the case that the soccer gods aren't smiling on Florida right now. You look at that Harrisburg-San Diego game last night, 5 of the goals in those games came off restarts. 3 by San Diego. Here's Claire. Claire leaves it over, shot, and Matt with a good save. It was actually Pereiras who made the pass over to Matt Claire. And Matt made a bid for his second of the night. In fact, St. Louis had 2 restart goals in Orlando last night. One right off the restart and one that involved about 4 or 5 passes, but was a very pretty restart play nonetheless. Ball down to Pereiras in the corner, tries to head it to himself. Ruggles will pick up the loose ball at the yellow line. Ruggles gets it to Pereiras. Pereiras with a shot and Paulo with a save. Nascimento is really developing himself into one of the better goalkeepers in the NASL, I think, or MASL. I think that might have caught him in the noggin.
Yeah, it looks like it hit his face.
Here's the replay. Good work by Ruggles to keep it alive, and it sure did. Caught him right on the chin, it looked like.
Whatever it takes, it looks like, huh?
Remember Alan Mayer with the old MISL used to play goal with a helmet on. That wouldn't have helped Allen, though. That was right down low by the chin.
Oh, yeah, that's...
But Nascimento going to tough it out here. So it'll be a corner kick coming up here for Florida as they retrieve the ball that went high up into the crowd here. That's good news for Paulo. Gives him a few extra seconds to recover. He played the 4th quarter in Orlando last night. Came in as a spark plug and did the trick. Pereiras ready for the restart. Out to Guilherme, shot, and a nice defensive play by Felipe Silva to block it over the glass and out of play.
We're doing all the right things.
I was just going to say, that was one that, yep, that one you just credit to St. Louis for making the good play. Nothing wrong with that restart there by the Tropics, just a better play by St. Louis.
Once again, fans, we're in strike.
Silva, who made the block, was the hero in that overtime win against Milwaukee, and Speaking of restarts, it was a restart goal by Silva that won it for the ambush there. Here's a long ball across the box on the volley. Guilherme knocks that all the way to Zephyr Hills.
That's all right. We're still in the power play, so we're still man up. We have 43 seconds left, so we should be able to get something out of this.
Paulo will send it downfield and will roll harmlessly to Hugo Silva. Here's the Tropics. Pereiras coming to open space, middle of the floor. Tried to get it down to Guilherme. Couldn't get it through, and Carvalho picks it up. Back to Victor and over to Ricardo. Still just the one goal so far. Into Ruggles. Shot goal!
See? Great play. Created by Matt. Get that ball in the middle. Notice they were in a box. Find the pocket. Turn and shoot.
And that's a pretty one for the Tropics. A power play marker as we take a look at the replay. Boy, well placed just inside the far post. Nothing Paulo could do about that one. Ruggles had just enough space with the man advantage. And for Ruggles, that is his 4th goal of the season. He had 11 for Milwaukee last year. As we said, he's kind of a offensive-minded defender at times. Wonderful defensive player. Plays with such kind of a calm and cool and collected presence defensively that you don't always expect to see what he can do offensively. But right there, Grant knocks Arico off the ball and is whistled for the foul. But a perfectly placed shot by Ruggles, and the Tropics lead at 2-0. Tropics came into the game this afternoon of the 46% efficiency on the power play, which is pretty good. And that will improve a little bit with that marker by Ruggles. Here's Mijatovic. Axel Duarte takes him down, and Mijatovic is shaken up. He might want to think about heading back to defense for the next game. People don't realize, and JP, you can talk about this, you're a veteran of this game. It's a physical game out there, much more so than it may appear to people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're going home, and you're going home with bruises after the game, without a doubt, no matter what position you play.
Mijatovic going to head to the bench. Zach Reggett will come on. Tries to get the pass. Duarte makes the good shield and defensive play to allow his goalkeeper to pick it up. Pressure by Manfoot, but Grant will get it, and back to Paulo. Intercept by Manfoot almost. Suzik taken down. Play on, say the officials. Here's Grant. Acosta on him. Rob with the collection of the rebound. Nice play by the former ambush and MASL Defender of the Year, Rob Acosta.
3 lines, or top of the box.
And that's going to be a unfortunate mistake by Hugo Silva, as St. Louis will get a free kick restart here from the top of the penalty arc. This is always dangerous. Actually, I was just going to say they were going to set it at the yellow line, and the ambush made sure to correct the officials quickly on that. So the Tropics will put a 3-man wall out there. Manfoot, Ruggles. Here's a shot. Good save by Silva, and that's exactly how it's supposed to work. Here's DeSantos. DeSantos in front. Shot. Silva with a great save again.
Great save.
Boy, his best of the night. Hugo Silva firing out this big RP funding center crowd with a big save. It's a high five from his defender, Lucas Teixeira. But Hugo Silva, here's a look at the replay. First of all, makes the stop on the
Well, here
free
you can
kick.
see on the replay, Rob was a little too wide, or the wall was set up a little too to one side, which enabled that shot, but did a good job defending that play.
Pereiras couldn't track down the loose ball in the corner, but gets it back at the yellow line to Ruggles at midfield, so Florida will retain possession here. Pereiras, he's got good 1v1 skills, and I think he actually may have stepped on the ball as I just said that. But the Tropics will retain possession. Here's Teixeira. Teixeira looking for some help, leaves it off for Gerson. Gerson Tried a little give and go with Guilherme, but good defensive play again by St. Louis to break that up. It was Duarte with the clear in front of his goalkeeper. JT Thomas with it. Not a good ball to Tony Walls. Hugo Silva with it. Thomas will put some pressure on, and Silva will bang it down to Mijatovic. Mijatovic got some room to push forward here. Mijatovic gets it over to Teixeira. Tropics, though, want to get one more player onto the floor. It'll be Carvalho, so they'll pull it back out to the midfield line. Halfway through the second quarter, 2-0 Florida. Here's Claire. Silva to Ruggles now. And JP, explain what the Tropics are doing here. You talk about building forward here. Exactly how they're doing that.
So what we're doing now is we're doing a three-man weave, and now we brought Hugo into the mix. But notice that the guy would be in the middle. We'll bring one to one side, one to the other to build a three. We've been working on for the last few weeks also building a four, which allows us to have that space where now you have Stefan be up top by himself, so there's plenty of space to run off to get a shot, and also allows him to turn on the player and have that one-on-one, which has been extremely successful with Zach and with the likes of Joey Tavernisi and Ricardo.
No Tavernisi here this evening. Mijatovic with it. Alves. Rafa will play it back to Silva. It's kind of like basketball. You got to work hard off the ball to create opportunities. Here's Arico down to Manfoot. Tried to set up Reggett in front, but Zach couldn't collect it. Some pressure in there, and Tropics trying to retain possession. Arico does. Arico shot, and that one just goes wide of the far post. Manfoot in there for the rebound. He and Reggett were in there both. Teixeira will track it down. Be careful here as
we're doing a really good pressure now. They're not coming out. They're not coming out. We're doing a really good job making sure that the intensity's there. You can hear Clay in the background telling people to change, to do quick shifts, which allows us to be fresh at all times.
Reggett and Santos got their legs tangled, and Reggett is called for the infraction. Long ball into the Florida end of the field, and that will be
3 lines.
Should be, yeah. One of the few rules that you need to know about indoor soccer. You cannot kick the ball in the air over the 2 yellow lines and the center line. The goaltender can throw it, but you can't kick it. So it'll be a restart here for Florida. Pereiras, 2-man wall for St. Louis. Pereiras approaches, shot, and that one goes high and out of play. Pereiras coming off the 3-goal effort last Sunday here in Orlando. Breaking the action at the RP Funding Center. It has been a good one, presented by Bond Clinic. This is Florida Tropics Soccer on Great 38. Stay tuned, back with the conclusion of the first half in just a moment.
Your Syntec smart home works with devices like the Amazon Echo Dot.
Alexa, turn on all lights.
Many of your home's features can be controlled by giving simple voice commands.
Alexa, set temperature to 72 degrees. Alexa, play my playlist.
For extra convenience, you can also control your home's systems with your smartphone apps.
Major Arena Soccer League action is at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland with the Florida Tropics. For amazing family entertainment and non-stop action that doesn't bust the budget, go to fltropics.com and click tickets. So rise up, Florida, and join the ever-growing Tropics soccer movement. Go to fltropics.com and click tickets.
Here's something we've learned in the last 115 years. Energy connects us. In the conversations, the smiles, the interactions we experience every day. Lakeland Electric is proud to power local businesses, ensuring reliable energy for our friends, our families, our future. Lakeland Electric, powered for life.
What's your plan?
More time with the grandkids.
Care Plus can help with a variety of Medicare Advantage plans, many $0 copays, and 20 years of Medicare experience. Care Plus, we've got plans for you.
Back here at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland, Florida. Florida Tropics Soccer as they lead the St. Louis Ambush by a score of 2-0. Bond Clinic is proud to be the official medical provider of the Florida Tropics Soccer Club. Our sports medicine team is dedicated to keeping the Tropics healthy and on the field. Bond Clinic celebrating 71 years of healthcare to the Polk County community and growing. They will have a full-time campus right here in Lakeland this year, just a few months away from opening. Exciting for Bond Clinic to expand now fully into Lakeland with all their services. And we will talk more about that later in the season as that date approaches, but haven't been too many injuries this year to worry about, as St. Louis will try and tee it up. A little back heel pass to nobody in particular. Ruggles was there. Guillerme's got Claire ahead of the field if you can get it to him, but a good defensive recovery by Souza. So many injuries last year for the Tropics. Their roster was just devastated. And this year it's been, I don't want to say the opposite. There have been injuries, but nothing like the 2018-19 season that ended in such disappointment, as Gordy Gerson is taken down hard by DeSantos. And for the second time today, he's going to limp off.
Yeah, Gordy's one of those guys that has a target on his back. I mean, the guy's so talented. He has a great left foot, great right foot, and of course he's going to have always guys wanting to get under his skin.
Mijatovic with it at the yellow line, and Santos going to be called for being a little too physical on Stefan there. Ruggles with it. Carvalho with it. And a whistle away from the play, and I think the Tropics are going to get a restart at the top of the penalty arc here. I think it was a foul was called. Too much contact in front with one of the St. Louis players. Didn't really see exactly what happened, but Florida will indeed get a restart opportunity here at the top of the penalty arc. You don't see that very often. Carreras out there with Carvalho. Gerson back out, Ruggles. Guillerme and Clay Roberts wants to
get a timeout.
Talk this one over.
Yeah. Executing this one, you can go in with another goal before the half. You're sitting pretty comfortable, not complacent. It's a good score to come out in.
Although, as we know, 3-0 is never really comfortable in indoor soccer, but it's been a really good performance by the Tropics here in the first half, especially defensively. I know the goals haven't been there quite like Clay Roberts would like, but defensively it's been a very, very impressive effort for Florida, who comes in at 9-1, their best start ever. A win here this afternoon would be their 5th in a row, which would match a franchise record win streak. The Tropics opened the season with 5 consecutive wins this year before that 1-goal loss here on December 28th against the Milwaukee Wave, and since then have reeled off 4 straight. So tonight would be a 5th in a row before hitting the road next weekend on a trip to Texas. They will meet the Dallas Sidekicks on Friday night in Dallas and then make the very short trip over to Mesquite to take on the Outlaws on Saturday, February 1st. The Outlaws, of course, coached by the legendary indoor player Tattoo, who really cut his teeth in the indoor game with the Tampa Bay Rowdies back in the early and mid-1980s. In fact, played a game here at the Lakeland Center, or the Lakeland Civic Center as it was known in the day. The Rowdies actually ended up playing 5 games here in Lakeland, 2 exhibition games and 3 regular season games, 1 NASL indoor season here in Lakeland. Tattoo, part of that season for the Rowdies, went on to become one of the all-time greats in the game, and he will be matching wits with Clay Roberts a week from tonight in Mesquite. So let's see what Clay Roberts put on the whiteboard during the timeout to see if he in fact can give this Florida team a 3-0 lead. Pereiras or Carvalho, we'll see who the trigger man will be. Looks like Pereiras. Leaves it off for Gerson and don't know what that was all about.
It didn't come out the way it was supposed to.
Sure did.
That's all right.
And then
2v1.
Carvalho falls, steps
Drew
on the
cuts
ball.
The pass. Great job. Great job. He cut the pass off to isolate to a one-on-one there.
Drew Ruggles, one of the best defenders in the game, and showed you why right on that play. Looked dangerous, and again, he made it look easy. He was calm, collected, just did not lose his composure at all, and made a difficult play look very easy. St. Louis with possession still. Carvalho with the block. St. Louis will keep possession. Gerson, though, will be called on the foul. I think Everton wanted a blue card maybe there, but none forthcoming. Only 2 penalties of the half so far against St. Louis. Tropics taking advantage of the second. Power play goal by Ruggles, so he's had quite a first half, both offensively and defensively. Here's Almeida. Duduka with it, out to DeSantos. Through ball to Tony Walls, St. Louis's leading goal scorer. DeSantos
Great
with
shape, great change.
Counter chance for the Tropics here. Gerson trying to catch up to the board pass, but Almeida is able to intercept. Good idea.
Love the communication that's going on right now between Lucas and Victor, telling him to switch because Victor had to be the last one, and we didn't want our second forward being the last guy, so that communication is just key for us.
Part of the reason the Tropics have the Eastern Conference lead by 2 games over Milwaukee and Utica City as St. Louis puts it out of play.
Easy peasy. That allows us to have the right guy marking the right guy, and that's great for us. That way we don't have a target forward being marked by a forward. You don't want Gordy marking St. Louis, do you?
Right? Well, the thing that strikes me about this game, JP, is defensively it's shaping up a lot like that win against Baltimore. I mean, they just smothered the blast at every turn, and they've done that against St. Louis here so far. Here's Alves stepping up. Souza makes a play, but Alves keeps it alive to Claire. Claire tried to get it off the boards to Zach Reggett. San Luis can't get there. Teixeira does. And he will send it all the way back to Hugo Silva now. Tropics will build forward again here. Reggett with it. Reggett. Across the field now to Claire. Back on top to Alves. Inside 2 minutes to go. First half. Major Arena Soccer League action on Grade 38. Glad to have you along on an absolutely glorious Gasparilla Day in Tampa. About 45 minutes to the east of Lakeland. Silva will send the long ball down, headed across the box, and that'll go out of play by Monolaris.
Florida Polytechnic University, the mission is to serve students and industry through excellence in education, discovery, and application of engineering and applied sciences. For more information,
Nascimento will put it in play, gets it up to Jahic.
further your career.
Leaves it off there for Marcos. Reggett backtracking, and going to be a little bit too much contact there as Anthony Arico and Zach Reggett came together. 2 former ambush players. Sam Wachina, current ambush player.
I think we have five former ambush players in total.
Yeah, definitely a St. Louis influence to be sure on this Tropics roster. Rob Acosta out there now defensively. He was with St. Louis a couple of years ago when he was named Defender of the Year. Long shot right on as Tony Walls tried to sneak one by Hugo Silva there, and Silva said, no, sir. Here comes Carvalho, and good defensive recovery at the last second by Almeida as Carvalho now will pick it up tries to get it in front, shot, and he tried to set up Acosta on the redirect, and it just went wide. Souza being watched by Acosta. Intercepted by Reggett. Reggett bounces it towards goal, and Paulo knocks it out of there. And Carvalho going to be called for the foul. Not sure why. I don't think he did anything untoward. Might have backed into Paulo just a little bit. So take one more look at it here as Reggett on the intercept. Bounced, yeah, I guess maybe Carvalho took a step towards Paulo there. He will certainly go to great lengths to protect the goalkeepers in this game, and you understand it. Here's Ruggles. Pretty move at the yellow line. Ruggles shot. Goal!
What a great play. Drive. And that's Ruggles' style, huh?
That might be the prettiest goal we've seen all year. What an effort by Drew Ruggles. Tremendous 1v1 moves at the midfield and then buries it far post. Boy, what a shot, what a goal. Celebration time here in Lakeland. And light the lamp for that one, Drew Ruggles. Wow. Second goal of the half. Big smiles all the way and big hugs all the way around on the bench after that one. That is as pretty as they come. Great individual effort by Ruggles. And there's that third goal that you were talking about, JP.
26 seconds left. Let's keep our composure. And that's what Clay's yelling right now on the bench to make sure everybody just stays disciplined, stick to the system. Leave the half like this, we'll be good.
Boy, they'll be buzzing about that one from Ruggles for a while here. The force was with Drew on that one, no question. Here's Pereiras. He's got some time to operate. Pereiras at the yellow line. Left side to Teixeira. Teixeira shot. Goal! One is not enough. We'll take two in the final minute.
It's going to start to rain. What a great first touch to allow him to go ahead and get that left foot. Lucas has a great left foot, so it allows him to open up right to the middle, place in the corner, killing the Spiders.
We talked about this on other broadcasts too this year, JP, about defenders coming forward and being more part of the offensive opportunities. Is that a conscious effort that Clay has talked to you guys about this year?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. That's part of changing it up a little bit, allowing us to have open opportunities for players who are open, whether defenders, midfielders, or forwards. That was a great opportunity to do, especially right before the half, getting two. Oh, excellent, awesome.
Don't want to give up one late here. Acosta gonna dribble it out of the Florida end of the field, and the Tropics with an explosive end to the final minute of the half. Hugo Silva with some big saves, and this big crowd at the RP Funding Center with a big hand for the Tropics as they head to the locker room with a 4-0 lead on Star Wars night here in Lakeland. And all the Star Wars characters aboard happy about it as the Tropics get 4 in the first. Here's the first of 2 by Drew Ruggles, and that was a pretty one, but boy, his last one was a true thing of beauty.
He is so casual.
Well, an exciting first half for the Florida Tropics, especially an exciting final 60 seconds of the first half as the Tropics take a 4-0 lead. Drew Ruggles gets the third goal at 14:25, and then just, let's see, do my math here quickly, 26 seconds later, Lucas Teixeira made it a 4-0 game. No action yet underway in the MASL. As we said, a big one in Baltimore later on. Should kick off just about when we end here in Lakeland as the Baltimore Blast host the San Diego Sockers. Between them, I think they have 23 World Indoor Soccer Championships. That should be a lot of fun, and I know MASL fans will look forward to that. Of course, the Blast at 5-5 in a pitched battle for what might be the fourth and final playoff spot in the East, so that has an import beyond just the fact that it's the Sockers in town. Milwaukee will host Rochester. The Lancers looking for their first win. Unlikely that they will find it in Milwaukee. That is a 7 o'clock start. And a couple of games out west, the Mesquite Outlaws, who the Tropics will play a week from tonight in Mesquite, will match up against Sonora, who will make a visit to Lakeland on February 22nd. And then the Dallas Sidekicks will also be hosting Turlock in a Western Conference showdown as well. So we'll keep an eye on that Baltimore-San Diego game if they do get underway before we leave you here tonight. But lots of exciting action coming up here in Lakeland in February and March. Back home after that Texas two-step next weekend, San Diego. The Sockers will be here for a 5 p.m. kickoff as we take a look at the Southern Homes home cooking upcoming schedule. The Lancers here on the 15th, Sonora here on February 22nd, and then a couple of big games in March, especially since both St. Louis and Kansas City could be looking to be in that battle for that final playoff spot in the East. St. Louis will return here on Sunday, March 8th, and then another Sunday matinee on the 15th against the Kansas City Comets. The Tropics will close the regular season on March 22nd here against Turlock, and then perhaps, fingers crossed, unless there's a really big collapse, the Tropics, for the first time in their 4 years history, will be in the MASL postseason. Halftime here in Lakeland as the Tropics have taken a 4-0 lead on the St. Louis Ambush. Back with more MASL action in just a moment.
What's your plan?
More time with the grandkids.
Care Plus can help with a variety of Medicare Advantage plans, many $0 copays, and 20 years of Medicare experience. Care Plus, we've got plans for you.
Your Syntec smart home works with devices like the Amazon Echo Dot.
Alexa, turn on all lights.
Many of your home's features can be controlled by giving simple voice commands.
Alexa, set temperature to 72 degrees. Alexa, play my playlist.
For extra convenience, you can also control your home's systems with your smartphone apps.
Major Arena Soccer League action is at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland with the Florida Tropics. For amazing family entertainment and non-stop action that doesn't bust the budget, go to fltropics.com and click tickets. So rise up, Florida, and join the ever-growing Tropics soccer movement. Go to fltropics.com and click tickets.
Here's something we've learned in the last 115 years. Energy connects us. In the conversations, the smiles, the interactions we experience every day. Lakeland Electric is proud to power local businesses, ensuring reliable energy for our friends, our families, our future. Lakeland Electric, powered for life.
What's your plan?
More time with the grandkids.
Care Plus can help with a variety of Medicare Advantage plans, many $0 copays, and 20 years of Medicare experience. Care Plus, we've got plans for you.
Well, still a long way to go in this one, but the Tropics have taken a 4-0 lead. And, you know, it's interesting about St. Louis. We've talked about the fact they came into the game tonight with a 6-6 record. What's really interesting is all 6 of their wins have come by 1 goal. They've won 3 in overtime. They won last night in Orlando by 1 goal, 8-7. So they are dangerous and certainly can come back. You know, look, we talked about it at the Open. They beat Milwaukee in Milwaukee. So good enough for me to tell you that they can come back and be a threat here in the second half. For the Tropics, well, it's exactly how they have drawn it up. They are leading the Eastern Division with 88 goals. In their last 4 games combined, JP, 50 goals. Seems like the offense, everybody kind of hitting their stride right now.
Yeah, and that's what you do when you develop a system the way Clay has, right? We don't want 1 or 2 players getting a whole bunch of goals. We have everybody, all the goals are being equally distributed, and that's because everybody's getting a fair chances, right? Equal amount of chances based on their system and the way that we're playing.
Well, let's take a look at some of those goals tonight. As we said, the Tropics with 4 players with 10 or more goals on the season, and Matt Clare is one of them, and he got a perfect pass from Guilherme.
Yeah, what a great pass. I mean, Guilherme basically took a look over his shoulder and saw Matt making a run, and he got right there.
There's Drew Ruggles with the first of his 2 tonight on the power play, got just enough space at the top of the arc and made a pretty shot.
That's him for you. I mean, he's been consistent at practice and games the whole season, and we hope to see nothing but better and better from him.
There's Hugo Silva with a couple of his really big saves. The defense has been great in front of him, and then the play by Drew Ruggles, maybe the goal of the year in the final minute of the second quarter, and boy, all smiles was Drew Ruggles and this big crowd here at the RP Funding Center on Star Wars night, enjoying every minute of it. And then just 26 seconds later, Lucas Teixeira with the capper, and it's a 4-0 lead for the Tropics. Kind of deserved, I think, because they were clearly the better team over the first 30 minutes. And so to go to the intermission with 4-0 lead is maybe a little just, but we'll see. Everton, a very good coach. St. Louis with some dangerous players, and they are certainly not done. We will be back with that second half in just a moment, presented by Bond Clinic. This is Florida Tropics Soccer on Great 38. Back in a moment. at the RP Funding Center here in Lakeland, Florida, as we get ready for third quarter action. Brian Ackley along with JP Reyes. And JP, you've been in that Tropics locker room a number of occasions at halftime. Not always with a 4-0 lead, but certainly you've been there. And what do you think the message from Clay Roberts was to the boys here?
Well, he's probably going to talk about not letting go of the gas, making sure that we are still matching their intensity, making sure that we finish our opportunities and to continue building from the second quarter, right? That's important for us to continue building each quarter, and that's what we want to continue because we're looking not just for this game, but we're looking long-term to be able to be consistent.
That defensive effort that we talked about in the first half meant that it's the first time this season that the St. Louis Ambush have been held scoreless at half. So one more reason to be impressed by what has happened. And the other thing we expect, JP, is that the Tropics, if they can, because they started certainly ratcheting up the pressure in that second quarter, if they've got another gear for pressure, we'll see it in the third, because St. Louis is the team that should have the heavy legs. They played in Orlando last night and really got pushed to the limit, winning 8-7 eventually, but had to put a lot more effort into that game last night than I think they were thinking they would have to. So if you're Clay Roberts and you're the Tropics, you've got to be thinking we can take advantage of that fact that St. Louis was pushed so hard last night.
Oh, yeah, and looking at the field, looking at some of those guys, I noticed that some of those St. Louis guys are switching in twos. For the most part, everyone on our team is switching in threes, so the intensity is going to be there. The rest is going to be there because we're switching in threes, so I don't see any reason why this can't get any better.
Well, it was a pretty good first half, and as we said, a really good final 60 seconds, and the Tropics doubling their lead from 2-0 to 4-0. The first half recap with Matt Clare getting the Tropics on the board in the first quarter. That goal came at the 9:48 mark. Drew Ruggles got the first of his two on the power play at 5:23 of the second, and then that explosive final minute. Ruggles with that spectacular individual effort, getting his second of the night at 14:25, and then Lucas Teixeira with kind of a backbreaker maybe, with just 9 seconds to go in the half and just 26 seconds after the Ruggles goal made it a 4-0 game. The only two penalties of that first half went to St. Louis. So Everton Moreira, also a very good coach. We'll see what he may have put on the drawing board as they tried to set up Teixeira, did Zach Reggett, but didn't quite have enough on the pass. Now here's a 3-on-1. Yeah, look out here as Thomas down the right side. Shot! Silva equal to the task again. And that's a good start for Hugo Silva, confidence builder. Not that he needed it. He was really good, but again, a chance here. Now here's Thomas, and a good defensive recovery, that time by Pereiras. That one will stay in play. No, I guess it, beg your pardon, did not, as JT Thomas tries the toe poke, and Hugo Silva equal to the task again. That's exactly what St. Louis would love to see happen. A quick goal here early in the third to blunt some of this Tropics momentum. Monolaris will leave it off to Gerson. Good to see Gordy back out there a couple of times in that first half. He limped off, but seems no worse the wear right at the moment at least. Here's Guilherme. Guilherme looking for Gerson, but Grant with the intercept. Grant going to push back, and here's a 3-on-2 maybe, but Ruggles comes back. Monolaris now on the defensive effort. Down low to Grant, but Silva comes off the boards and says, I'll take that, thank you very much.
Great read by Hugo.
It's about 90% of the goaltending in this game being in the right spot at the right time, and Hugo has been there every step of the way so far. Here's Mijatovic. Settles things back at the midfield line to Teixeira. Ahead to Manfoot. Manfoot. Little chip pass to Clare. Clare had Paulo out of position. Here's Manfoot with a chance. Still takes a whack at it. Didn't get a lot on it as Anthony Grant came back to help out defensively, and Paulo was able to cover up. Ball down deep in the right corner to Kozakov. Intercepted by Lucas Teixeira. He's had a strong game.
Everything is clicking, everybody changes. And now we match the intensity. You see Anthony Arrigo doing a really good job, make sure the pressure's there.
Mijatovic plays it back to Carvalho, or rather, yeah, that was Alves, rather, Rafa Alves, and the clear goes out of play, so St. Louis will get a restart here. St. Louis coming out with some aggressive play here in the opening couple of minutes. Marcos gets by Arrigo, but then recovery by Teixeira, and a foul will go against Marcus. Lucas Teixeira been battling a bit of a knee injury, did not dress last week, but is back in the lineup. Teixeira with a quick restart ahead to Carvalho. Back to Teixeira. Teixeira, long ball down to Reggett. He wanted Carvalho on the run, but Ricardo was still out in the midfield area. Arrigo going to be whistled for the foul. Now I feel like Anthony's back.
Yeah, you know when there's a foul called against him.
and it's a physical one.
Yeah, we're just waiting for that blue card.
You know, that's one part of his game he's really gotten a lot better on. He used to take a lot of reckless blue cards, no longer. Here's a chance through the box. St. Louis going to track it down on the near side and get it back out to Duarte. Yeah, Anthony's always a high-intensity, high-energy, emotional player, and it's usually a good thing, but his first couple of years with the Tropics, it led to some, I guess you might say, unnecessary or unfortunate blue cards. But last year, he really kind of cleared a hurdle in that department and didn't get the blue cards, but still played with that energy and emotion that you love.
Yeah, had a great season. Love that bicycle he did.
Yeah, you see that highlight on all of our commercial breaks in that Tropics highlight reel. That's Anthony Arrigo scoring the bicycle kick goal. Actually, there's two of them because Victor Pereira is in there as well with the second one. Restart chance here for St. Louis now as Jonathan Santos will make sure his shoes are tightly tied. St. Louis will run over the ball. Here's a ball off the boards in front, tried to get it to St. Louis Duduka. But that didn't work, and so Hugo Silva will get a goal kick here. Of course, one of the nice things about the Star Wars event is these special Star Wars jerseys that the Tropics are wearing will be auctioned off. And proceeds will go to charity as Pereiras tries to set up Guilherme in front. Guilherme going to settle it back to Drew Ruggles. So 30 of these jerseys, all the game played jerseys and a few extras will be auctioned off on Live Source, the app. So you have to download the Live Source app and you can place your bid. That auction will run from now until I believe it's Monday at 6 p.m. And all the proceeds will benefit Tops Soccer, which is the soccer program run by the Florida Youth Association that allows children with disabilities, both mental and physical disabilities, to play soccer. It's a tremendous program, and all the proceeds from that auction will benefit those children here in Lakeland and Polk County. So, as they said, bid once and bid high for your favorite player's jersey, and at the same time, you'll be doing a great thing for some of the disabled youth soccer players here right in the Lakeland area. That app again is Live Source. Silva. Tropics a little disorganized in their own end there. Gerson gonna try and recover, but St. Louis will retain possession as Santos will counter now for the ambush. Waiting for some help on the far side of the field. It's on. It's a long shot, and that goes over the glass and out of play as Marcos teed it up from about 60 feet. And if you're the Tropics, JP, that's okay if you're shooting from 60 feet away.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see that there's not much creativity going on because their legs are a little bit wore out. You can kind of see that this is their second game. St. Louis coming from Orlando. Very hard-fought game in Orlando. Coming with a victory, but coming here with those legs, you're starting to see that there's less creativity in the offense because of it.
A lot of credit to the Seawolves for their effort last night as Tom Traxler back as their coach, and if nothing else, you always know you're going to get a full 60-minute honest, hard effort from a Tom Traxler coach team, and that's what the Seawolves gave St. Louis last night, to the surprise of some. Maybe not those with the Seawolves organization, but credit to Orlando for their effort last night. And it may be helping the Tropics here tonight, so thank you, Seawolves, again. Here's Claire to Manfoot. Long way to go in this one, though. Almost 2 full quarters, and as we saw at the end of the first half, goals can come at a fast and furious pace. And here's another blue card against St. Louis, I believe, or is this going to go against Alves?
Rafa.
Yeah.
Rafa looks like a bad first touch, unlucky first touch. Rafa's such a good defender. It's just his style of play. It's just, it kind of just makes him seem like he's got blue cards when I personally think he shouldn't have gotten blue cards.
That one was a clear one. He wrapped his arm around the St. Louis defender's throat, basically, and he went to the turf. And once you get up around the head area with your arm and elbows, they're going to call that every time. So St. Louis will get their first power play opportunity of the night. Souza out there with it now. Lucas Teixeira on top. Here's a long shot. Silva punches that one away. Another chance, and that one's knocked out of play. But again, a long distance chance for St. Louis, and while it was a good save by Silva, as we take a look, it wasn't overly difficult. Still lots of time left in the St. Louis man advantage here. Just 18 seconds gone in the penalty to Alves. Silva going to throw it deep into the St. Louis end of the field. Lucas Montoleros will get possession. Gets it ahead, tries to find Rob Acosta. Acosta going to put some pressure on Nascimento, and he puts it out of play. So nice work by Rob Acosta to create the turnover and give Florida a shorthanded opportunity here with a corner kick, I believe, or close to it.
Looks like Rob's coming out to make Matt Clare come in, possibly take an offensive shot. Very unselfish play by Rob. Let's see if we can get something out of this.
There's Clare, tried to sneak one through traffic, but Felipe Silva was able to stick a foot in there. But the Tropics have killed almost a full penalty, a full minute here of the man advantage. Ruggles out there with Teixeira, Acosta, and Lucas Montoleros. So 4 defenders out on the penalty kill. JT Thomas with it. Lays it off right side, down low. Acosta with a good read. Battling in there with Duduka. And we've got a whistle and we're going to get a drop ball here.
Drop ball.
So Duduka and Drew Ruggles will do the drop ball. St. Louis gets possession. Here's a chance. Shot block in front by Montoleros. Souza with the opportunity and a good look. Again, a defensive shutdown effort here so far by the Tropics. Here's Souza. Souza puts it through the box. Chance on top. Here comes Teixeira. Gets it ahead to Ruggles. Ruggles with a big stride. Ruggles coming in. Shot. Oh, and he just missed the far post. Drew Ruggles looking for a short-handed goal for the hat trick. Here's Thomas. Boy, would that been a moment. Off the boards in front, Montoleros knocks it out of there briefly, and there's a dangerous bicycle kick opportunity. Well, here's a great look at the Ruggles attempt with the shorty and missed by about 12 inches.
Very unlucky. Drew has a great shot, great left foot, great right foot. That was unlucky. Great recovery too by Drew.
He's had a heck of a game, no question about it, on both ends of the field. Exactly what the Tropics were looking for when they signed him from the Milwaukee Wave as a free agent this past summer. And he is really kind of hitting his stride, I think, here in the last 3 or 4 games with the Tropics. Still a man advantage. Nope, penalty is up now, so the Tropics back to full strength. Successful penalty kill. Souza with it. Gets it down to Grant off the wall in front. Was looking for Silva on the run. Here's Thomas in front, knocked out of there by Monaleras. Thomas bangs in again. Off the boards again, Alvis this time clears it. Reggett not going to get there in time as Paulo will come well up his line. And there's a blue card.
On Zach.
As Zach Reggett got a little too aggressive on the challenge against, I believe that was Souza. So Zach Reggett going to go to the box. Yeah, there was a push.
Yeah.
Wasn't much of one, but it was enough. So the Tropics suddenly kind of their own worst enemy here with back-to-back blue cards. And St. Louis with a second chance now here on the power play after failing to convert just moments ago. Here's a ball down low. Shot. Silva kicks that one about rebound, and it hits the post. Never went in.
That's indoor soccer for you. That's a great save.
Great save, and then a little pinball action in front. And the goaltender's best friend, the woodwork, keeps it out. Silva with the initial save, and then the ball off the post. That's a great angle above the goals there to know if the ball ever crossed the line. It did not, of course, and the Tropics continue to lead. Presented by Bond Clinic, this is Florida Tropics Soccer on Great 38. Back in just a moment. By the way, where's Joey tonight?
Works with devices like the Amazon Echo Dot.
Alexa, turn on all lights.
Many of your home's features can be controlled by giving simple voice commands.
Alexa, set temperature to 72 degrees. Alexa, play my playlist.
For extra convenience, you can also control your home's systems with your smartphone apps.
Major Arena Soccer League action is at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland with the Florida Tropics. For amazing family entertainment and non-stop action that doesn't bust the budget, go to fltropics.com and click tickets. So rise up, Florida, and join the ever-growing Tropics soccer movement. Go to fltropics.com and click tickets.
Here's something we've learned in the last 115 years. Energy connects us. In the conversations, the smiles, the interactions we experience every day. Lakeland Electric is proud to power local businesses, ensuring reliable energy for our friends, our families, our future. Lakeland Electric, powered for life.
What's your plan?
More time with the grandkids.
Care Plus can help with a variety of Medicare Advantage plans, many $0 copays, and 20 years of Medicare experience. Care Plus, we've got plans for you.
Tropics on their second consecutive penalty kill here, although they are in the St. Louis end of the field with a restart. JP, you've been on many a man-down unit. What's the key to being good on that man-down situation?
So for this particular scenario, you're going to want to read the players. You're going to want to make sure you read your teammate so he allows you to be more predictable when to pressure or when to kind of man mark or when to kind of balance out between one player and another, because you are short. So for example, right now as you see Lucas stepping up, he was reading what Lucas Teixeira was doing so he can go towards the way of the ball. And giving those cues to your teammate allows you to be a little bit more predictable in a good way.
So it's both verbal communication and kind of nonverbal communication, right?
Yeah, that's correct. It's forcing the play one way where you can kind of get an idea of where it's going.
And of course, ideally, you want to force it outside, away from the box, away from the goal area.
Yep. Or towards your man, towards your support.
Of course, right. Ruggles out there with Alvis, Teixeira, and Monaleras for this penalty kill. So again, 4 defenders. Still 55 seconds to go in the man advantage. Sousa with it to Thomas, intercepted by Teixeira, and he'll just clear the area, but a handball called against Teixeira as it took a kind of a funny bounce off the carpet. Break for St. Louis. That'll save a few seconds at least here on the man advantage.
Lucas Teixeira stepping high a little bit, putting high pressure on it. Great idea.
Thomas in front, knocked out of there by Monaleros. Almeida with it. Long shot blocked by Teixeira. Elvis gets it ahead to Ruggles. Ruggles going to look to kill a little time, or maybe try again to do a little 1v1 magic, but he at least draws the foul, and Tropics will. Oh, they got a quick restart, and for some reason they blew it dead. That was unfortunate.
Looks like the ref is asking to put the ball in the place where he thought the foul was.
St. Louis has taken advantages of the quick restarts this year, and the Tropics had a notion there, and Monaleros was ahead of the field by a step, but whistle blew. Down to 20 seconds on the man advantage. Here's Teixeira. Teixeira with his shot never got through. Sousa back with it. He's taken down by Teixeira, no whistle. They say play on. Walls has it.
6 seconds left.
One last push forward here for St. Louis on the man advantage, but there's a shot down low, and it skitters through the box again, and that will go out of play, and the Tropics have killed off back-to-back two-minute penalties. That is huge.
Great job defense.
Yep. And still have a 4-0 lead. Long ball down to Matt Clare. Tried to set up Carvalho in front. Carvalho will get there. Jahic, though, gets in front of Carvalho. Nice step up by Ruggles. Jahic intercepted by Clare. Clare down to Ruggles. Ruggles off the boards in front. He had Guilherme, but a good defensive play in front of Paulo there. Here's Grant with a long run, but Silva comes off his line to temporarily halt that push forward, and the Tropics will retain possession. Clare. Clare's got some space. He says, I'm going to go, and why not? Clare over the yellow line. Gets it left side. Here's Carvalho. Carvalho tried to get it across the far post to Guilherme and didn't quite have enough on it. Good run by Matt Clare. Here's Anthony Grant being watched by Ruggles, and Drew again with that nice, calm defensive play, pushed him to the outside, and St. Louis, however, will get a restart at the top of the penalty arc.
The Tropics would like to extend a very warm welcome and a special happy birthday to
Well, these make you nervous because sooner or later you're going to cash one. St. Louis hasn't so far.
today. On behalf of all the players, coaches, staff, and fans,
Pass deep in the left corner. Teixeira on Walls. In front, a deflection and a goal. There you go.
Goal.
Yep, that's an unfortunate one. Unlucky for the Tropics, fortunate for St. Louis.
Tony Walls turns, hits the wall, and gets one of those indoor goals.
Yep, one of those indoor goals, no question about it, but they happen. And the Tropics have to make sure this doesn't turn into one of those moments of fury that Clay Roberts talks about where you give up one unfortunate goal. I think that one actually went off one of the Tropics players. I think it went off Claire, or did it go off Gerson?
Gordy
Yeah.
Gerson, yeah. Unlucky.
Yep, just unlucky for Gerson. But a spark now potentially for St. Louis. Really unfortunate, too, after you kill off
two power plays.
Yeah, not one, but two power plays in a row. And then give up the own goal. Teixeira taken down hard, and that won't feel good on his sore knee. Goes right to Paulo. Marcos going to be watched by Gerson. Next goal could kind of be big here, as Silva has a little trouble handling that. Marcos going to track it down. Injured St. Louis player in the box shot. Silva with a save, no whistle. They're going to say play on.
Surprising.
And now they're going to
head injury.
Finally blow the whistle. I think it's St. Louis who's down and hurt. And just a collision between St. Louis and Hugo Silva. Might come as a surprise to some people, but this turf is not forgiving. It's basically just a thin layer of AstroTurf over cement. There's no padding, there's no real give to it, so when you hit the turf, you know it.
Plenty of strawberries sown on in my day.
Don't mean to laugh about it. It's not funny. It's a tough game. People don't really fully appreciate that. Good play by Mijatovic to keep it alive. St. Louis bangs in there, and St. Louis will get possession. Almeida with it. St. Louis could cut the deficit in half, or the Tropics could kind of put the brakes on any St. Louis thoughts of a comeback. So I think this next goal could be big. But as we said, still a lot of time. St. Louis very good with a sixth attacker, and we may get a chance to see that if they're trailing in the fourth quarter. Here's Gerson. Nice little spin move at the center circle. Still with it. Gerson, oh, he's taken down hard. That's got to be a card. And it is. Holy cow, was he taken down. Marcos is complaining. Forget about it. Head to the box and hope Gordy is okay.
See, that's one of those he's one of those players that people see him, takes 1, 2, 3, 4 extra touches, and they're going to go after him because he's so talented. The gift and the curse for Gordy.
I mean, that was reckless and dangerous, and Gerson going to be gingerly helped up and head to the bench. So the Tropics will get a power play, and Gordy with a smile on his face as he and Hugo talk about it. Gerson, one of those players you love to have on your side. He's a pest. He's a tremendously talented player, energetic player. Sometimes he pays the price. He did right there, but his team will get the 2-minute man advantage. Pereira's up top with Carvalho. Down low to Guilherme. Back to Pereira's shot. Goal!
Great play, great goal. Great accuracy. As you see here, Guy involved again. Laying the ball off to Victor, reading the space, seeing where the space is. Well-paced ball, great pass.
I'm not sure if he put it between the legs of DeSantos or just past DeSantos. But Paulo, I'm not sure, had a great look at it, but it was perfectly placed as well. Exactly how Victor wanted to strike it.
A lot of credit to Guy for giving a good weighted pass for that shot.
Those are two great assists for Guilherme tonight. A perfect pass to Matt Clare on the game's first goal of the game, and then another pretty one right there. Elvis tries to bang it out of play. Jahic couldn't get it. Here's Anthony Arrico. He's got a little space to operate. Jahic trying to recover, gets it down to Manfoot. Manfoot off the boards in front. Oh, and Arrico just missed. Pretty give and go with Manfoot. Here's Mijatovic. Gets it to Monolaris. Back to Arrico. Boy, Manfoot just missed. Or Arrico, rather, just missed on the feed from Manfoot. Mijatovic with it.
Great goal to recover from that 1-goal deficit we hit to be at 5-1.
Yeah,
right
it has
the fourth.
just has a different feel again, just like it would have at 4-2.
Yeah.
The wrong way. Here's Pereira's. Pereira's off the boards in front, looking for Clare to make a run. He couldn't get there. Grant tries to clear it. Acosta keeps it alive to Reggett. Reggett over to Carvalho. Those two guys have been quiet tonight, and that's unusual. Carvalho taken down, and the foul is called. But that's the beauty of this Tropics roster. If guys like Carvalho and Reggett are quiet, there's other guys that can get it done.
Yeah.
Here's that miss by Arrico just off the top of the crossbar. Boy, he would have loved to have gotten that one. Carvalho will put it in play. Nope, he'll leave it back to Victor. Tried to get Carvalho, and it'll roll to Paulo. Good idea, but Ricardo Carvalho could not get there. Grant with some pressure. Carvalho with the intercept. Grant pushes down Reggett and no whistle. Header as Reggett keeps it alive to Carvalho. Now here's Reggett, and he couldn't get much on that chance. Good pressure, though, by the Tropics, creating opportunities.
Great pressure.
Again,
not letting
Monolaris
it go.
steps up. Monolaris, shot in. Paulo makes a save. Lucas couldn't quite control it the way he wanted to set up one of his line mates, so he took the shot. And Paulo was equal to the task there, but the Tropics creating a couple of big turnovers and big chances here in the final minute. San Luis will direct some traffic.
Keep composure, hold them off, 2 seconds left.
Down in the corner in front, no chance left for St. Louis. So the Tropics will head to the final 15 minutes with their 4-goal lead intact. A pretty one by Victor Pereira on the assist by Guilherme. Presented by Bond Clinic. This is Florida Tropics Soccer on Grade 38. Well, we talked, JP, about the fact that the Tropics would really step up that pressure in the third quarter, and in that final minute, we saw it pay dividends almost 2 or 3 times, and I think we can expect a lot of that over the final 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, fourth quarter has been very successful. This season, we've done really well in fourth quarter, so I'm excited to see what's going to come out next, and especially with the fact that this is their second game, so we should be able to not let go of the gas and just keep going, continue on, more attacking.
And I'm sure that's part of the Clay Roberts message as he talks to his club in their special Star Wars inspired uniforms here tonight on Star Wars night at the RP Funding Center. Again, we hope you place your bid for these uniforms. They'll be up for auction after the game and through 6 o'clock Monday on the Live Source app. So place those bids, and the proceeds from the sale of these uniforms will go towards Top Soccer that benefits local youth soccer players that are physically or mentally disadvantaged. It's a great program if you've ever had a chance to be out at some of their games or practices, and I have had that opportunity over in Lake Wales a few times. It is really something to see and a lot of fun. And so not only are you going to get a really cool piece of Tropics memorabilia, but you're going to be helping out some really cool soccer players in our area as well. So the final 15 here in Lakeland as the Tropics try and protect this 5-1 lead. Shot in front off the foot of Regatas. Carvalho comes in and he just misses far post.
We're not letting go of the gas, and that's exactly what Clay told him in the huddle, and as you can see it now.
Teixeira has it taken away briefly, but Alves recovers, and then Claire will settle things down to Hugo Silva. Long ball down to Carvalho. Carvalho still trying to keep it alive for the Tropics, and a whistle, and Who's going to be called for the foul? I guess it's Ricardo. He can't believe it. A little early to think about sixth attacker, but...
Well, not with Everton.
Well, true. Here's a steal by Claire, and Paulo just does get a foot in there. Now a bid from distance by Reggett, and a good defensive play by Duarte. Claire going to get there maybe first. Reggett also with some pressure. The Tropics, as we've been talking about, with the fresher legs. Here's a shot. Paulo with the save as Claire let it go from a sharp angle. Claire going to be called for the foul. Teixeira tangles with Walls, but that allows Ruggles to come and clean things up. Claire gets it ahead to Teixeira now, and he loses it to Tony Walls.
Great move by Tony.
Arguably the ambush's best player. There's a chance. Ruggles steps in front of that. Not a particularly difficult shot to begin with. Claire gets it ahead to Guilherme. Guilherme, middle of the field, runs into some traffic. And St. Louis going to come back here 2v1. Here's a chance, and Silva with a save. Again, a huge save by Silva as he robs Stefan St. Louis. We've got an injured Tropic player back out at the midfield line.
Looks like Guy.
Guilherme, who was in that collision near the yellow line. And one of the Bond Clinic medical personnel will come out to tend to Guy. Hopefully, maybe just got the wind knocked out of him. Take a look at that collision again. There, it was a high arm from Souza, and that could have been a blue card easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took one up around the neck.
Looks like Guy is fine. He's a tough guy, very tough guy.
Here's one more look, and watch up high. There it is. That arm kind of swung around and caught Guilherme right in the neck. That easily could have been a blue card. Probably should have been. But it happened so quickly, and neither of the officials saw it. Clay Roberts not all that happy that it went unnoticed. As we said, when the Tropics got one for getting up high with elbows and arms, those are almost automatic blue cards. Referees protecting the players to be sure. Paulo comes out to the midfield line now. He almost can act as a sixth attacker and is really here at the moment. Manfoot up top high here for the Tropics. Intercept by Manoleras, and he's pulled down. Things getting a little chippy here in the second half.
It is getting a little bit more physical. I mean, it's still really early in the fourth quarter, so
yeah,
they are going to try to use Paulo a little bit more, it looks like.
Yeah, it certainly does. Ruggles gets it ahead to Anthony Arico. Down low to Zach Reggett. Leaves it off for Arico. Off the boards in front. Tried to hit Reggett on a little give and go, but Grant will come back the other way for St. Louis. Gets it ahead to St. Louis. Being watched by Teixeira. Teixeira. Oh, almost another own goal. Dangerous in front. Silva comes out, and there's a blue card coming up against Hugo Silva as he used his hands outside the box. And so St. Louis will get life here with 12:05 to go. We'll take a look at the replay, but St. Louis will get its third power play of the half.
Oh, there's a handball there. That's all right. We killed two. Hopefully we'll be able to kill this third one.
Just a little unfortunate. A lot of traffic there right outside the top of the box. And
it's also going to be a
shootout, yeah.
Yep.
Looks like it'll be Duduka to do it. Can I say that? Duduka to do it?
You just did.
So this will be a one-on-one opportunity between Duduka and Silva. DeDuca with 12 goals on the season, looking for his 13th. Of course, the other 9 players will run in from the center field line. Actually saw a shootout last night where one of the players passed it to one of the runners coming in who scored. So you can't assume that DeDuca is going to take the shot. Almost always the player will, but he is not obligated to. DeDuca waits for the whistle. Silva comes off his line. Nope, and they're going to say I think Stephane St. Louis got a little bit of a quick start.
Yeah, you got to wait for the whistle, wait for the ball to move.
So we'll do it one more time. DeDuca comes in, Silva with a save! How do you like that? Big ovation from the crowd here at the RP Funding Center. Hugo Silva having a game here tonight. Wow. Restart out at the yellow line now. DeDuca a chance. That one's blocked by Teixeira. Power play for St. Louis, of course. The man advantage still in effect, even though the shootout was not successful. Here's Souza. Back to DeDuca. Over to Almeida now. Souza will tee it up top of the arc and sends that halfway to Fort Meade. Got to have a little special shout out for the hometown.
Now you hear Clay. It's Clay telling everybody to calm down, keep the tempo, make sure you keep possession, and don't go with the emotions. Don't run with the emotions.
Tropics would like to run a little clock here. Still a minute and a half left in the man advantage, but the long throw goes right to Paulo.
It looks like now the Tropics are defending in a box.
2 on top with Teixeira and Ruggles.
Yep.
Monolaris and Rafa Alves down low. Almeida at the yellow line. Pressured by Teixeira. Nice little back heel. And Silva comes out and makes the play. Another great read by Silva on JT Thomas. Long throw down to Drew Ruggles. Boy, he has been just spectacular when he's needed to be here tonight. Defense has been great in front of him, and when he's been needed, Silva's been there. Fun to watch. 30 seconds left in the man advantage. Almeida. DeDuca down low, shot, and that one sent out of play. Thomas with a little too much air under that one. So the Tropics 25 seconds away from killing off the penalty. You mentioned, JP, the Tropics were playing a box defense. You have the option box or diamond usually. What's the difference and what determines what you usually go with?
Well, you play a box or diamond depending on how they're set up. If they have 2 guys up top, then you go with a box. But if they put 3 up top, then you mark those 3 and you keep our 1 guy just shifting side to side, not allowing that split to happen from the opposite side or that diagonal pass.
Well, it's worked well here tonight for Florida. Killed off back-to-back man advantages in the third. Here's a through ball chance in front. Look out here. Shot deflected by Alves. Good play by Rafa to direct that one off target. Here's Ruggles. Oh, he had Reggett coming out of the box and didn't know it. And it's going to stay in play. Reggett and Nascimento battle. No whistle as Reggett tried to create an opportunity for himself. Here's a long ball in the box and a nice play by Walls as he tried the header, but he puts it out of play.
Back to even strength.
So another power play killed here for Florida. Been part of the storyline here tonight as well. But that man, Hugo Silva, has been as big a part of the storyline as anybody. He and the whole defense really sharp again tonight. Here's Ruggles with it. Good to see Guilherme back out there. Is it up to Victor Pereiras? Pereiras now within 8 points of becoming the Tropics' all-time leading scorer.
Good ball by Drew to make the play get stretched out, bring the defense, keep him honest, and bring him back out. That gives the space. It allows the timing to be right.
Pereiras watched by Marcos. Ja hits with it. Ja hits with a little space. Little give and go. Shot blocked in there, this time by Pereiras. Again, another forward player making a defensive play. Ball ahead to Guilherme. He's got a breakaway. He's got Carvalho with him. Guilherme, Carvalho, and he couldn't get the shot. Here's Ricardo with it still. Ricardo finally does get the shot away, and Paulo makes the save. Boy, that might have been the backbreaker right there. Guilherme unselfishly trying to set up Carvalho.
Great ball to stretch us, slice him through.
Teixeira can't win that battle one-on-one against St. Louis. Alves coming back. Be careful, Rafa. Good play, good position, and he takes it away, and then Teixeira comes in to clean it up. Gets it ahead to Gerson. Gerson. It's got Matt Clare ahead of the field. Gerson with it. Gerson going to put a little one-on-one show on here, and he's taken down. But they're going to call Gerson, I guess, on the foul.
Looks
or
like, falling or
on the
diving.
fall, yeah, I guess.
That's surprising. Looks like there's a little bit of contact there. Let's see here in the play. Yeah, I mean, goes down, softer than usual, but
Souza, a little contact. When you're in full throttle like that, doesn't always take a lot of contact to send you to the turf, but Gerson, perhaps we are in movie award season, so.
Great play by Stefan to keep the ball. There's a little bit of high pressure being set up by St. Louis, and we're doing good breaking through that.
This might be one last gasp time here for the ambush with trying to get some pressure and a turnover here with a half a quarter to play and down 4. Here's Monolaris. Monolaris pushes it forward. Gets it down off the boards. Here's Gerson with a chance in front. And Monolaris made a bid to collect it and deposit it into an open net and got there just a half second late. Special shout out to Soccer Sam up in Rochester watching on MASL.TV this afternoon. One of the great people in the sport.
The man,
you know
the living
him well.
legend. Yep. Great owner, great friend.
Played a couple of seasons up in Rochester, both indoor and outdoor. Here's Manfoot now. Manfoot gets it over to Reggett. Reggett back to Manfoot. Goal!
Great play. Tucci doesn't need many touches to score goals, but he'll get you a couple.
Well, you know, as much as Zach Reggett wants to score here tonight, what a great unselfish play. Great pass to Antonio Manfoot. And that might be the backbreaker with 6:43 to go. 6-1 now, but a great unselfish play by Zach Reggett. He could have taken the shot and maybe buried it himself. Instead, Antonio Manfoot, who does the Soccer Sam salute and does the Star Wars salute after making it a 6-1 game.
The force is with him.
Yeah, it is for sure, and it has been with the Tropics really from start to finish tonight. Another strong effort so far, and if the Tropics can finish it out, they will have their 5th consecutive win. We have a break in the action here at the RP Funding Center. We'll step aside for just a moment as the teams talk it over and be back for the final 6:43. This is Florida Tropics Soccer, brought to you by Bond Clinic on Great 38.
Your Syntec smart home works with devices like the Amazon Echo Dot.
Alexa, turn on all lights.
Many of your home's features can be controlled by giving simple voice commands.
Alexa, set temperature to 72 degrees. Alexa, play my playlist.
For extra convenience, you can also control your home's systems with your smartphone apps.
Major Arena Soccer League action is at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland with the Florida Tropics. For amazing family entertainment and non-stop action that doesn't bust the budget, go to fltropics.com and click tickets. So rise up, Florida, and join the ever-growing Tropics soccer movement. Go to fltropics.com and click tickets.
Here's something we've learned in the last 115 years. Energy connects us. In the conversations, the smiles, the interactions we experience every day. Lakeland Electric is proud to power local businesses, ensuring reliable energy for our friends, our families, our future. Lakeland Electric, powered for life.
What's your plan?
More time with the grandkids.
Care Plus can help with a variety of Medicare Advantage plans, many $0 copays, and 20 years of Medicare experience. Care Plus, we've got plans for you.
6:42 stands between the Tropics and their 10th win of the season. Here's a pass through the box to no one in particular. Carvalho going to be out there as the St. Louis ambush have gone to the sixth attacker now. Carvalho tries to make a bid, but comes back. Here's a chance in front, and a goal. Rob Acosta.
I think it's actually Ricardo, but they're trying to figure out who scores the goal.
Was it Acosta or was it Carvalho who's going to get it?
Find out.
I don't know if Ricardo got the head on it or not. I think he might have.
Yeah, I got stolen.
He might have stolen one from a guy who never gets a goal in Rob Acosta. Ricardo's going to owe Rob a steak dinner tonight, or at least a trip to Teriyaki Madness.
Without a doubt, without a doubt.
So Ricardo Carvalho does get himself on the score sheet after all with his 30th point of the season, his 17th assist, and he's going to take a lot of good-natured ribbing over on the bench for that one. But that makes it a 7-1 game. And this has been a very good effort start to finish by the Tropics here tonight. Here's a shot knocked away by Silva again as Thomas took it. Guilherme tries to play it ahead to Gerson, who's going to make a bid from distance. Gordy Gerson, oh, how unlucky can you get? Just bounced over the goal and off the glass above the crossbar.
What a great look to do that.
Well, you can score them from a foot away or 150 feet away. There's a long shot that misses near post by Thomas. Good effort by JT there. Tony Walls with it. Taken away by Pereiras now. Pereiras has it taken away himself. Now a chance as they look for DeSantos. Couldn't quite catch up with it. Silva knocks another one away on the near post. St. Louis will keep possession with the sixth attacker now. But 6 and 5 minutes is a lot even in the indoor game as a shot goes off the crossbar. It's at least the second time St. Louis has hit woodwork here tonight. Here's Pereiras. Pereiras. Whistle called as I think Teixeira collided with one of the ambush players near the yellow line. Maybe it was Gerson that got tangled up. Yeah, it was like Gerson.
An accidental check.
Pereiras with some pressure as it comes back out to Souza outside the yellow line. Here's Souza again, top of the arc. Shot that misses short side. Not by much.
Hugo's presence back there. Hugo's presence in goal. It's the force that's with Hugo.
Sure has been. Shot goes out of play. Might be a little early to talk about man of the match, but maybe co-man of the match between Drew Ruggles and Hugo Silva. What do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Hugo's been clutch. I mean, some of those goals that he stopped would have been momentum changers. Team's done excellent. Hugo's been a part of it.
Yeah, the defense has been good in front of him. Bad clearer there, though. There's a shot, and Silva able to recover. Again, a chance, a shot, and that's knocked out of play. So even when he does something wrong, he does something right.
I mean, right now, St. Louis is hitting crossbars going everywhere. They can't finish a Happy Meal.
Jahic on that intercept. If the Tropics can keep St. Louis off the board for the final 403, it would be a team record for fewest goals allowed in a game. 2 is the franchise record. They've done that 3 or 4 times, twice already this year. So undoubtedly, I've put the hex on them. Matt Clare pushes forward. And we'll bring it back out. Good veteran decision to reset the offense. Clare with it. Leaves it for Mijatovic. Mijatovic gets it back to, should have been the goal scorer, Rob Acosta. Poor Ricardo. If he had that one back, he probably would. Well, he may have thought it might not be going in, so I don't want to tell you he was.
That's, you know, he's a goal scorer, I'll tell you that.
Yep. Here's Acosta. Pushes forward. Mijatovic battling over there against Silva, and Mijatovic was taken hard into the boards. Seemed a little unnecessary on Silva's part. Or that's Carvalho, I beg your pardon, taken hard into the boards over there. Here's a replay. Yeah, that's
grabbing right there.
That could have easily been a blue card again. A lot of contact up high. And near the boards to boot. I think Ricardo's got a little bit of a beef there. Hugo off his line as Grant applies some pressure. Hugo sends it ahead to Carvalho, now to Alves. Alves, nice little back heel to Teixeira. Tropics playing a little keep away in possession here to run some clock. Silva will drive it down for Lucas Teixeira. Lucas couldn't come up with it as Jahic was able to take it away. Grant will track it down at the midfield circle. That's Mijatovic now on him. Gives it up to Carvalho. Little hold of the jersey. Here's Carvalho, tried to get it to Teixeira. Couldn't get it through. Grant will take it away for St. Louis. Now Rico steps up, a pair of 22s. Been a nice return for Anthony Rico. Isn't going to be on the score sheet yet, at least, but he's played well. Alves with it. And again, a whistle. Don't know what that foul was for. Rico going to try and track it down in the corner. He's taken down hard, no whistle. Thomas has that one intercepted by Monolaris. Well, we've only got a minute 50 to go, so you don't want to see anybody get hurt here.
No, just keep possession.
Alves will press forward at the center line. Now we'll slow things down and gives it over to Anthony Rico. So the Tropics will improve to 10-1, will retain their lead in the Eastern Conference, will be at least 2, likely 2 over Milwaukee. They have Rochester up in Milwaukee tonight. And as much as you'd like to think the Lancers could shock the world, probably unlikely. So Milwaukee with the win would be 8-3. Whistle and a foul on Silva as he was a little too close to Zach Reggett.
I mean, Felipe can bid on Reggett's jersey if he needs it, if he wants it that bad.
St. Louis will fall to 5-6. The Tropics go on the road next weekend for a back-to-backer Friday and Saturday. Friday night in Dallas, Saturday in Mesquite as Victor Pereira drives one out of play with less than a minute to go. Then don't forget, we'll be back right here on Great 38, February 8th. Really attractive matchup against the 13-time champion San Diego Sockers. The Sockers, Monterey Flash, and the Florida Tropics, the only 3 teams in the MASL with just 1 loss. Monterey was undefeated until they lost last night.
Yep.
So
surprising shocker against Tacoma.
Yep. A place that Florida will be visiting in late February, and that kind of validates the Stars, and they're usually pretty good, and they've kind of gotten off to a slow start. So good win for Tacoma last night. So no undefeated teams left in the MASL now. The Tropics right there with Monterey and San Diego with just 1 loss each. Of course, San Diego with that very tantalizing matchup against Baltimore in Baltimore tonight. So we'll see how that plays out. Here's Gerson. Gerson tries to get it ahead to Guilherme, couldn't do it.
4v2, let's see Lucas and Rob can do.
Walls with it, takes it up through the box. Pereiras recovers. Good play by Pereiras in front. Silva.
Great save.
Protects the perhaps franchise record for fewest goals in a game. We'll see. Looks like it's going to happen as Gerson takes the giveaway. Makes the long shot. St. Louis makes the save, but it's over.
Game.
Here at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland. A tremendous performance by the Florida Tropics. They win it by a final score of 7-1. Big game for Drew Ruggles. Big game for Hugo Silva. Glad you were with us. Hope you enjoyed the action. The final, Florida 7, St. Louis 1. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Okay, check. Michaela, check. Can you hear me? Got it. Great win. What does this mean for the Tropics midway through the season?
I'll tell you when.
Oh, sorry. I heard when. Congratulations, Coach Roberts, on this great win. What does this mean for the Florida Tropics halfway through the season?
Yeah, it's a great win for us, and obviously we've been working hard. We've had a great homestand. It was our goal to come and win the last 3 games at home. This is a pivotal point in the season, and so we're excited to get another great win. We had a goal coming into this game to limit it to 2 goals against, and 1 goal against. A great defensive effort by our guys. Really good rhythm, a little slow start, but massive win for us. Now we got to go on the road and keep doing what we're doing.
Awesome, and now moving forward with the rest of the season, what's one thing you want to see the team do from here on out?
Yeah, continue to gain confidence. This is still a bunch of new players that we brought in, and we're playing well, but we're not near our ceiling yet, and that's exciting. The fans have been fantastic. Tonight was a great night, and we just want to keep with the rhythm, keep doing what we're doing, those small details. We think that's what's going to let us play at the end, so that's our focus week to week.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Coach, and congratulations on a great win.